Alright, welcome. Good evening. I am only 15 minutes late, but that's because I'm hungry and I have to eat the food. So we are opening with a dip tonight. Bitcoin's current price is dropping to 108,300. Oh wow, big crazy scary number, right? 108,000. It's not a big deal, guys. This is actually very healthy. We are supposed to kind of approach this zone as long as we stay above 107k, right? This is just a very recent drop actually. Like if I go to a 15-minute chart, you'll notice we held above 109k for the majority of today until just now, right? We are currently seeing this little bit of a dip, but like I said, it's nothing too major. Seems to be very healthy in my humble opinion. Look at that, we're actually becoming almost oversold in the 15-minute chart if you're feeling a little extra risky. But if you're like me in the 4-hour chart, this is not an entry zone. You're a bit in the 50-50 kind of area still, according to RSI, 4-hour chart, right? Invalidation zone still remains at 105k. That's still valid. And yeah, the current support level that we have is that 107k. We are met with our previous resistance, the old all-time high level at 110k approximately. I'll just move this to 110. Should I? No, I don't think I will. It's important to know exactly like where the previous all-time high level was. Our current all-time high is the current resistance at 112k, right? 111,913, right? So we are still on our way back up there, about 3% from reaching that top where we are right now. So, you know, it's going to take a while. I think we could still get it done this week. We will be getting some economic data, so those factors could play a key role in boosting the price up. So that way, you know, everything should be good, hopefully. In terms of other resistances, I don't see Bitcoin dropping below this. And I mean, I don't know. There are still some talks that this is a cycle top, right? I don't see that happening either. I wouldn't be too concerned about it as long as we stay above this 105k, really, right? This current correction that we're seeing should stay above 107k, right? I'm expecting 105k to be broken into at a later date if things do continue bad, right? Like if we get bad economic data, we would be testing 105k. Simple as that. Next support level is at 102 and then 100k. Simple as that. I don't think we'll be seeing this for a while, but this is the zone that I was like eyeing for a very long time that we never really approached. Maybe we are. Have we ever... Do you guys remember that CME gap stuff? Let me get in there right now. I don't think we have seen that in a moment. I should switch to the daily chart for it and switch to not this one, but this one, CME futures. I really don't see any gaps, right? I mean, this was one gap which was already filled on our way back up. Here's one gap, if I'm not that blind. Price closes here, price opens here. So that's one gap which it technically has not been fully filled. This would be a devastating drop though to fill this gap. We do have another one over here. Very minimal, but has already been filled. This, I would assume, is one of the gaps, right? I'm not crazy. What is this? May 7, May 8? Why do we have a gap there? Whatever. It's probably just a 24-hour gap. That doesn't consider a CME gap. It has to be over the weekend. And May 8 was absolutely not that. If I check my calendar. No, that was like a Wednesday to Thursday. So really nothing happened there. Weekend was relatively stable here. So we don't really have any CME gaps to fill other than this one. But I don't think we'll be seeing this for a very long time. Maybe like... by the end of the bull run, we'll crash all the way down here. Hopefully. No, hopefully not. I don't know. It's going to be scary once this bull run is over. Who knows what the bottom of Bitcoin will be. Absolutely above 80k. But, yeah, I don't want to begin speculating until we get there, right? Is this what the indicator is? What is this? Contract switch. Yeah, I have no idea what these are. Alright, that's fine. We're not here to talk about CME gaps yet. Oh, we're about... yeah, we just dropped down. Lost 108k. About to, at least. Yeah, we will be dropping to 107k tonight, no doubt about it. Moving on, let's go to Ethereum. It is down 1.65%, also coming down just a little bit. We were reaching high levels of about almost 2,600 We're now 2,510. So we will be testing the 2,500 zone. We are already breaking down from this pivot. Our next support for Ethereum is 2,425. Invalidation at 2,375. And then a support level as well over here, 2,308. We still got another support to cover as well. Worst case scenario, 2,107, which should coincide with one of the uptrends that we have over here. And, I mean, still Ethereum is in an uptrend, so these corrections are absolutely healthy. They're fine. Nothing major will come of this. Matter of fact, they could be opportunities. They could be gifts. Solana might be a different story here. We got a lot of room to not to recover, but to run toward the downside. Maybe a 5% drop before we invalidate this uptrend. But I still think, like, even with that 5% crash, Solana is more volatile compared to other coins, right? Although I think, like, I feel like recently Solana has, like, lost its volatility. I don't know, like, the amount that it moves, it has not really been moving as much, right? Reaching a high of 187, not that great compared to, I don't know. I'm mainly thinking of SUI. SUI seems to be the most volatile coin. There are some other tokens out there that I will discuss, mainly Hyperliquid. So we'll be reviewing that as well later on. If you're wondering what this is, I'm also wondering. This is literally new, like 1 hour ago kind of new. Some of the key... this is like AI, okay. From BingX itself. Okay. I'd have to give this a try. The health of my... I don't have any positions. Review my trades of this week. I don't think you should. You know what? Do it. Searching the knowledge base. My trade review. Okay, it's analyzing my standard futures. Okay, well, there you go. It's exposing my trades in there. All right. Spot. I don't have anything on spot. Maybe from airdrops. Anyway. Standard futures profit and loss. This is last week. Or this week. Did I make 1,600? I don't even feel that. I don't think I made 1,600 this week. Whatever. And then my P&L ratio is negative. Is that... What? It seems you have some mixed results in your standard futures trading. While you generated a positive dollar amount, the negative ratio suggests some volatility in your performance. Well, yeah, of course. We're in the cryptocurrency markets. My trading data shows limited activity this week. Yeah. Okay, maybe... What did I even do this week? I know I probably lost more trades than what I've made, but I've made a good trade probably there. I really don't even remember what trades I made this week. Let's see. Shows limited activity this week. Standard futures accounts show some profit in dollar terms. Negative rate. Okay, I said that. Don't see any specific trading records for individual transactions or current holdings in the provided data, which limits the depth of analysis you can provide. So clearly not as advanced AI yet. Suggestions moving forward. Consider portfolio diversification. My portfolio is heavily diversified. Thank you. Different positions across different assets on BingX can help balance your risk exposure. So yeah, I technically already do this. Like I invest in other altcoins as well. I'm not sure if that's what it's referring to, or maybe it wants me to invest in, because they also do offer commodities and Forex. But I don't think that's really too good to invest in. It's mainly better for trading. Although maybe commodities, you could argue, are probably better for investing. Long term, though. Monitor risk-reward ratio. Negative percentage, despite positive dollar gains, suggests potential improvements in position sizing. I don't get that. How am I negative percentage, but way positive dollar balance? And explore trading tools. Using stop loss and take profit orders can help manage your positions more effectively. I mean, I do that already. Okay, no, I think that's enough, but thank you. It's cool. This is cool. We have a little AI thing now, AI companion. Maybe if you could tell me where the price is going, that'll be super helpful. All right. Oh, Solana, I didn't even realize this for Solana. We're on an exact Fibonacci level. Did we just stop dropping here? I don't know. Maybe a readjustment would have to be made, but this is coinciding pretty perfectly. We'll have to come back to this. For now, showing a bit of rejection over here, meaning that the uptrend is absolutely strong. We'll see how strong in just a moment, though. XRP, why does that pop-up show up? $2.27, pathetic. We're under $2.30 once again. Hey, maybe this is a good buying opportunity either way, because we're about to test our invalidation zone right over here, which XRP is notorious of invalidating its uptrend, but then eventually going back up there, as proven over here, for instance, very temporarily flipping super trend bearish for a moment before continuing bullish once again. But we're about to test that kind of area once over here. Once again over here. I said once again like too many times. And that invalidation's at 224. Support we have at 220. We shall see how price behaves. I'm hoping we at least close above 230, right? I think that might be too much to ask for. But as long as we're above 224, simple readjustment will do for XRP. Pivot level is our resistance at 234 after breaking 230 if we can. And then we're looking at 242, 250, etc. We're probably not going to reach that far up this week. I have very little faith now in XRP, although there are still some very good stuff coming out with it. It's probably still not enough. I don't know. They need more fundamentals, or they're just too attached to what Bitcoin is doing specifically. SUI is in a bit of a dangerous zone over here. Not that dangerous though, because we still have a very longer term uptrend that absolutely prevails. And to be frank, I kind of expected us to eventually reunite with this uptrend, because we had another one over here which got broken by this choppiness, this sideways movement, given the SUI hack that happened. Not SUI specifically, but other stuff. And now there's a bit of competition going on between SUI and Hyperliquid. Although they do different stuff, as Hyperliquid is a decentralized exchange, SUI is its own blockchain, Hyperliquid uses Solana, etc. In terms of market capitalization, there's a bit of competition going on, which we will discuss later on. Vicarian says, may I ask historically okay, we dump when there's a Bitcoin conference, according to many. I would like to know whether we dump before, during, or after the conference, according to you. I would say, that's a good question. Usually, like, for this time in the cycle, we would generally see a rise in Bitcoin's price during the Bitcoin conferences, because we're not in a bear market, right? We're overall still in a bull market. So, and we also will have important speakers at that conference. Now, it will be a little dependent, though, on what goes on with that conference. Will it change the overall trend of the market? I don't think so. It could just bring some short-term volatility in terms of either what is mentioned, or mainly, I would say, what isn't mentioned, being stuff like, you know, Cynthia Loomis will be there. Will she explain how the United States will purchase more Bitcoin? She probably won't. Maybe she will. I don't think that big announcement is going to be there. She's probably just going to reinforce the ideas of Bitcoin and the US government and, I don't know, play it safe, leave it at that, right? In that case, market might take that as, okay, well, we didn't get, depending on how greedy they are, right? Oh, we didn't get any news on how they're going to actually buy more Bitcoin and add it to the strategic reserve. There was no confirmation of the 200,000 Bitcoin purchased every year for 5 years, thing like that. So that could bring some volatility toward the downside, crashing markets just a little bit, but nothing too major. I still think everything will remain in its upward trajectory, because nonetheless, there's still a lot of speakers there. Like I said, it is a Bitcoin conference after all. But we've seen this kind of example happen when, you know, the US Strategic Reserve announcement happened. The executive order was signed. People were hopeful, or maybe a bit too greedy, that the US government would announce how they would purchase more Bitcoin. But they just said, no, the seized assets that we have, that will be the strategic reserve for now. So that's 200,000 Bitcoins. And nothing else. No confirmation as to how they're going to purchase more without, of course, using taxpayer money. So that's where my views are on that. I'm expecting things to always go down, right? You always got to be prepared for the downside. Not everything will always go up, right? So I'm looking to have cash on the side to take advantage of any possible dips, if that is the case. And I'm already well positioned either way, where if something phenomenal gets announced and everything starts rising from there, I'm going with it, right? Everything will continue going upwards as its normal path, right? So I'm already in the markets, ready to take advantage of that, right? That's where I'm at for it. Good question, though. Nice. Litecoin down 2.34%, also testing this uptrend. which, like I said, fully not invalidated yet. Super trend moved up to this exact support level, also psychological level at $90. We first have to test the $92.25, 42 cents approximately there. Our previous support level that we have over here. So that's where we're on right now. But I still think the uptrend will maintain as well for Litecoin. Especially consider we have a bit more space to, you know, dip if necessary. So should be bullish still for this week. Although we can kind of see a beginning of a downtrend forming shorter term. But long term is what you should really be caring about. So there we go. Cardano, 74 cents, down 1.61%. We don't have much room to run over here, so this might flip bearish if we do break this this uptrend, of course. And from here, similar deal. We can start seeing a bit of a downtrend forming for Cardano, which I will just draw right over here. What was I doing with Cardano anyway on my main? I already took I took profits from Cardano. That's probably what the AI was referring to. But I don't think I took that much profit. I don't know. I maybe took profit from other tokens as well. I really don't remember. But profit was made this week nonetheless. It's fine. Anyways, invalidation here. Also coinciding with this low point, 72 cents. And then I think this is more likely to be one of the first coins that flips bearish here. Resistance we have at 76. And next support that we could drop down to is 67, 68 approximately. So we shall see for that. Great. That's what we got for the market so far. It seems like this drop slowed down. We have kind of bounced back up a little bit, further reinforcing the idea that the uptrend prevails, which is good. Moving on. Let's talk about some news over here. US President Trump talking about President Putin in terms of this whole Russia-Ukraine peace deal, which still has not happened. And he's also facing some criticism. Of course, people are skeptical of Trump. You said he would stop this within 24 hours. What is going on? Putin's not collaborating. Zelensky's not collaborating. They're starting to do some peace talks, but it's kind of still up in the air, right? So he posted this. Well, first he talked about Putin saying, I don't know what's going on with him. He's needlessly killing a lot of people. Not just talking about soldiers. Missiles and drones are being shot into cities in Ukraine for no reason whatsoever, is Trump's claim. He pointed this out in a Truth Social post. And yeah, speaking of that criticism of like people that have about Trump, him ending the war in 24 hours, it's been dragging on for a couple months now. So that could also be bringing a bit of not so positive sentiment towards the market. Peace is what is bullish for assets in general, Bitcoin, everything, so that we can start continuing to go back up again. But it seems like this public statement from Donald Trump calling out Putin might, hopefully, maybe, will pressure Putin into start coming to the table to do some peace talks, right? He said that he's always had a very good relationship with Putin of Russia, but something has happened to him. He's gone absolutely crazy. He's needlessly killing a lot of people, not talking about soldiers, missiles and drones being shot in cities of Ukraine for no reason whatsoever. He's always said that he wants all of Ukraine, not just a piece of it, and maybe that's proving to be right. But if he does, it will lead to the downfall of Russia. Likewise, President Zelensky is doing his country no favors by talking the way he does. Everything out of his mouth causes problems. I don't like it, and it better stop. That's pretty funny. To dig at Zelensky himself. This is a war that would have never started if I were president. This is Zelensky's, Putin's, and Biden's war, not Trump's. So he's kind of pushing the blame over towards Biden, of course, and both Vladimir's just not cooperating whatsoever. He's only helping to put out the big and ugly fires that they have started through gross incompetence and hatred, is what he said. So that's Trump's defense toward that, I guess. Remember the Golden Dome as well that was being proposed by Trump? China calls on the US to abandon its space-based Golden Dome missile defense project. I don't know about that space-based part. I'm pretty sure it was something like he was going to launch something at satellite orbit. These lasers to stop missiles from landing into the United States if a nuclear conflict was to break out. I don't know why. I mean, of course, a military enemy of the United States would probably be calling to them to stop doing that, but I don't think he's going to stop. Xi Jinping apparently said that it will exacerbate the risk of turning outer space into a battlefield and starting an arms race and shake the international security and arms control system. Weird take. I think we should still have a Golden Dome nonetheless. That would be pretty cool. I say we, but I'm in Canada. Trump Media Group, this is huge, plans to raise $3 billion to buy Bitcoin and crypto. That's great. $3 billion will be flooding into the markets for Bitcoin. How are they going to do that? It's not announced yet. I want to check if there was any impact on the price of it, though. But we've already seen some members of Congress take action from this already. They're already buying Bitcoin in recent months. So let me check Trump Media Technology Group stock if anything has changed here. No. Well, this is a green candle in a daily chart, so yeah, a bit of movement. Nothing too major. 4% up today. That's not too bad. The question is, how will they purchase that Bitcoin, right? Yeah. No, nothing really big coming out of that, but it's still good news, right? We will be getting that soon. At least we get guaranteed purchases from MicroStrategy. He's done it again. He's purchased 4,000 Bitcoins for approximately $427 million at an average price of $106,000 per Bitcoin. If you're wondering how did he reach 106,000 if we have not touched 106,000 in recent days. Did we? Wait, what is this low? 106,537. Okay, I might be lying, but it's likely OTC, right? 106,200. We dropped to 106,500 in recent times. When did he purchase? As of May 25. So just, yeah, yesterday. They now have 580,000 Bitcoins. That's not too bad. Acquired for a total of $40 billion at average prices now $69,900, almost $70,000 per Bitcoin. And there's no signs of stopping. And this is also becoming a daily occurrence. Not exactly this amount, but something similar to it in the ETF market, right? Bitcoin ETFs, let me just check the flows here. We had $211 million inflow 23rd of May. Oh, today institutions are closed. So, oh, that's also okay. I'm forgetting today was Veterans Day. That's why we didn't see a big movement in Trump Media Technologies stock, right? The stock market in general is just closed today. Institutional investors did not report any purchases of Bitcoin because they are closed today for Veterans Day. So this would have been from last week. We're still seeing these huge numbers either way, even if these numbers are from last week. Hundreds of millions of dollars are being inflowed into, just look at 22nd of May, $900 million inflow. This is the biggest day that BlackRock has ever inflowed, ever. 877 million in one day. Almost a billion. And it's just going to keep on going, right? With what Donald Trump is planning to purchase. I don't even know why we're dropping, really. I still have a bullish outlook for what's coming up next. And this is also huge. $8.5 billion worth of Bitcoin shorts are set to be liquidated if it reaches $115,000 according to CoinGlass's liquidation heat map. Of course, we can always check that, meaning that with, any price surge of Bitcoin that breaks this barrier, 112,000, we can easily hit whatever this next resistance is here, 116, 115,000. We're expecting $8 billion of shorts to be liquidated. That's just going to cause a massive short squeeze. They will be forced to close their positions, their short positions. When you close a short position, you buy, right? And that's just going to have this snowball effect. You buy, and a lot of FOMO, a lot of optimism will start coming in. I think we could easily reach this next leg up very quickly once we do break that 112K barrier, of course. This is also big. Dubai Land Department teams up with Control Alt to launch the real estate tokenization project, and they have selected XRP Ledger as the blockchain of choice. I'm pretty sure I shared this before, but yes, it's official now. It's $16 billion tokenized real estate project on XRP Ripple's blockchain. So that is great. I don't know about this buying property for just $500 because that is insane, but yeah, there you go. Dubai bullish on Bitcoin. That's great. And apparently, according to this, a $426 billion institutional wave is heading toward Bitcoin. That is a lot more money than what Trump is doing, than what MicroStrategy is doing, everything. So Bitwise's latest research map how sovereigns, corporations, wealth platforms could acquire over 4.2 million bitcoins by 2026. Okay, that is a lot. Remember, there's only 21 million bitcoins that will ever exist. That is gonna explode the price a lot. Nation states, the new whales from El Salvador to Bhutan to Texas, governments are now stacking Bitcoin. It's no secret. The report forecasts $161 billion in national level Bitcoin holdings. So that's roughly 7.7% of the total supply. So Bitcoin is no longer fringe, it's policy, right? It's no longer this skeptical thing. Ooh, it's a sketchy thing. Illegal people use this stuff for illegal stuff. No, governments are buying it. It's happening. Wealth platforms, so the quiet giants. Morgan Stanley, Fidelity, UBS. Bitwise expects $120 billion of flows from wealth management platforms. I'm sure you've seen these companies as ads somewhere, right? They're investment companies, and they seek to give their clients the best rate of return on their investments. Whether that comes with a high risk or low risk, that's up to the client. But of course, Bitcoin is a part of their balance sheet, and it's there. It's great. People are buying into it for mainly retirement, stuff like that. It'll be great. As advisors normalize Bitcoin in portfolios, this becomes structural demand. It just becomes more common, and more people, of course, are getting insurance, investing in for retirement, things like that. And Bitcoin, the availability, the option is there if they want to invest into it. Public companies, so the Saylor effect, what we just saw with MicroStrategy. Corporates are catching up. Led by Strategy's 580,000 Bitcoin position, which they now do have, public companies could lock up $117 billion worth of Bitcoin by 2026. And that is over 1 million coins, 1 million Bitcoins, which will just be gone from the open market. There's going to be a massive supply shock. United States, from gold to Bitcoin, state treasurers are waking up. Texas, Arizona are already leading the charge, but Bitwise forecasts $19 billion in US state-level Bitcoin adoption. We saw some getting rejected, right? Their strategic reserves for Bitcoin, but some have already started, like Texas, Arizona. Digital gold rush is local in the US. It will just more states will start accepting it, right? It's an inevitability. Sovereign wealth funds, it's quiet but massive. Abu Dhabi, Norway, Singapore, the most conservative capital on earth, is now testing Bitcoin allocation models. Their forecast is $7.8 billion by 2026, just the beginning. Institutional yield is coming. I'm just going to go through these a little quicker because I don't want to spend too much time. Supply squeeze, right? 4.2 million Bitcoins across institutions. That is 20% of the total supply. And remember, the amount of Bitcoins that will exist is fixed, but the demand isn't. If there is high demand and low supply, it's just going to continue going higher, right? This sudden dump is likely due to Asia opening. You are right. Because this is usually the normal time that they open up. It just brings some volatility, and that's all. Things calm down later on till maybe around 2 a.m. Eastern time when European markets open. But it's not as much volume as what the United States markets bring. So yeah, you're right. There we go. So good stuff going on for Bitcoin, and there is some stuff to watch out for. Not everything is headed upwards. This is just for short term. If you're looking in the short term, Bitcoin's taker buy and sell ratio on exchanges has fallen to its lowest level in over a month. This shows, in short terms, more selling pressure on exchanges over the past 2 days. Hence why they're asking, will Bitcoin hold above 100,000? I still think it will, right? We've got good resistances, 3, 4 of them, right? Before we start considering 100,000 once again. All right. Moving on from that, Sam Bankman-Fried. If you remember this guy, he's responsible for everything crashing in 2022, crypto winter. FTX, there was this exchange, collapsed. because this guy used everybody's money to go to parties in Bahamas, whatever. He got arrested. He's in jail right now. He was sentenced to 25 years for the fraud. But now he is set for early release on December 14, 2044. That's still a long time from now. 20 years, which is 4 years ahead of schedule because he's been a good boy. He's been behaving in jail is what they say. He's been next to P. Diddy, but they moved cells now. He's no longer with P. Diddy. So it could be cut. Did it get cut by 4+ years with good behavior? And his co-conspirator, this lady over here, Caroline Ellison, is set for release in May 2026, which is literally 1 year from now. So, well, yeah, there we go. Fraudsters, I guess. They're saying they're so ugly. That's pretty funny. Yeah, and more stuff about fraud. This is a new one. There was $2.6 million stolen in poisoning attacks. And here's the explanation for that. A user just lost a total of $2.6 million in USD Tether across 2 transactions after falling for a poison address scam. These scammers are just evolving and it's crazy. Scammers instead inserted a near identical address. That is just crazy. How do you even do this? Into the victim's transaction history, tricking them into sending funds to the wrong address. Do you get this? Like, they somehow hack into this guy's little database where you can see the transaction history of where you've sent USDT to, right? They change the wallet addresses to their own address, of course, the hacker's address. So if you go to your like transaction history, like, oh, I want to send Bitcoin to this other address again, well, not Bitcoin, any cryptocurrency, right? In this case, it was USD Tether. This guy went through his transaction history. He's like, oh, I've sent it previously to this address, so I'm going to send it again. And since it's already verified, you just grab it and send $2 million. Yeah, it's now in the hacker's pocket. That is crazy. And the SUI network liquidity pool hack as well. Here's an update on what happened. So here's their thread on doubling down on SUI's security. The root cause of the CEDAS incident, this was the liquidity provider that got hacked, was due to a bug in CEDAS math library. So it was not a vulnerability in SUI or Move, but the impact on users is still the same, of course. So we need to take a holistic perspective and step up our game on supporting ecosystem security. Is this a long read? No, it's not. I'll read through it. Wait, is it? No, we're good. This week, we'll be talking about some of the security initiatives we already have in place and announce a few new ones to show that we are serious about supporting SUI builders and securing their apps, right? We're kicking this off by committing to spend an additional $10 million on security initiatives. These funds will be spent on audits, bug bounty programs, formal verification, and other ways to harden SUI. So even like pen testers, hey, this is where my cybersecurity could start kicking in if I could get hired by these guys. We'll talk about employment later. We'll figure out the details in collaboration with our developer community. We designed SUI specifically to enable more secure smart contract development, so the first major security incident for a decentralized app is a deeply sad day for us, for CEDAS, right? We also recognize that this is a coming-of-age moment that nearly every major blockchain has unfortunately experienced. No system designed or programming language can stop humans from writing bugs. Let's work together to learn from this incident, harden important code on SUI, help our builders to do so as well, and come out stronger. That's their final stance on it. So, good. They're improving in that sense. And this is the big comparison I wanted to show. Hyperliquid has now flipped SUI and market cap. Source, let me confirm it. And it is true. Hyperliquid is now larger than SUI. Has a $12 billion market cap. SUI has $11.4 billion in market cap. Why? Okay, and if you would ask me to choose between these two, I don't know. Hyperliquid has had some explosive growth. SUI has kind of slowed down a little bit, but I think that this is like... Okay, hold on. This is a tough one. Because Hyperliquid will be used a lot, right? It's a decentralized exchange for Solana. But SUI is its own ecosystem, and I think it's better than... I still think SUI. I'm still going with SUI if I had to pick between the two. Even though I see Hyperliquid's growth, like in the past 30 days, 100%. That is insane. That is crazy. I mean, but it also has dropped a lot from its all-time high, or it just made a new all-time high, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's still making all-time highs, according to this. Open interest of $10 billion, $5.6 million in 24-hour fees, and the USDC total value locked, $3.5 billion. Hyperliquid is absolutely killing it recently, so congratulations to them. And yes, indeed, they have hit a new all-time high. This is their all-time chart. New project that started in November, right? SUI has a bit more history, so that's why I'd probably trust it more. When was SUI created? 2023. 2023 what? May. Oh, that's 2 years. 2 years ago SUI was created. Of course, based off of, what was that token? Libra. No, Libra is the Argentinian one. Some token that was made by Facebook developers, then got split off into either SUI and then Aptos, which SUI has the better developers. Aptos has the still good developers, but not as great. Aptos right over here. So I'm still going with SUI on this one. Sorry, Hyperliquid. And yeah, that is also true. Like SUI, I am a firm believer that it can replace Solana, right? It's a great competitor to it. And Hyperliquid is just a decentralized exchange for Solana. Like it's great that the volume is there, but I feel like that hype will die down, literally, right? This is just the funnies. French President Emmanuel Macron got slapped in the face by is this his wife, quote unquote wife? Got shoved in the face before getting off a plane as if nothing happened. He responded to the incident saying that, oh, she was just joking. They're not even holding hands or hugging each other. He just gets pushed in the face like that. This as soon as the plane doors opened in, what is this, Taiwan? Vietnam? Yeah, there's also a part where he tries to like grab her hand and then she's just like refusing to. It's pretty funny. Anyway, nobody likes the guy. This is new. A crypto investor in Manhattan has been charged with kidnapping and torturing 28-year-old Italian man for weeks to extract his Bitcoin wallet passwords. It's not just in Paris now. It is also going on in New York and Manhattan. Nobody's safe anymore, so just watch out. Like, get security if you're in the crypto space. And if you're rich off of it specifically, right? I couldn't afford security still. And then this is also a thing that happened in England. A Liverpool's victory parade. There was a car that just suddenly started running over a bunch of people. And you think this is a terrorist attack, but it was actually a white man who did this. And I'm not going to play the video, of course, because I don't think YouTube would allow this. But here's just a frame of it. And here's another frame of what happened before. This is from before. People were... I don't know, he was kind of honking at the people to move out of the way first of all, right? He was peaceful and just, you know, honking people to move out the way. And people started, like, hitting his car, beating it, right? Then he reversed quickly to stop a guy from kicking the car, right? And then people just started charging at the car. So I'm assuming this guy just freaked out or, I don't know, went on a road rage and just started accelerating into people. I don't know if there were any casualties. But yeah, the guy's under arrest, under investigation, whatever. So we shall see any updates on that soon. There you go. That's your England update. Speaking of England, Prince Charles and I don't know who the princess is or queen, whatever. No, King Charles. I'm so off with my royal family stuff. I don't even know what's going on in the monarchy. But yeah, they came to visit Canada and that's about it. They said that they were going to come here, so congrats, welcome, I guess. When are they going to solve this issue, though? The unemployment. Canadian youth expected to face the worst summer job unemployment rate in decades again. I've personally spoken to friends, and they're also experiencing the same thing as I am. I tell them, hey, just buy Bitcoin, but they don't want to listen. That's fine. In April, 14.1% of Canadians aged 15 to 24 were unemployed, myself included, representing a 12.2% increase compared to the same time last year. Just goes to show it's not getting any better. When will Mark Carney start focusing on these issues? Great. Anyway, and also this thing about the Tim Hortons, yeah, that is facts. they're only hiring interracially, if you'll notice. There was a video that went viral of like pizza employees only hiring if you spoke Punjabi. And then there's just this normal Canadian dude who's like, come on, like, really? You guys are doing that? And he's like filming them and everything, and they just walk away because they're embarrassed. Yeah, that's the state of Canada right now. It's all right. This can easily replace your job. It has for mine so far. Kind of. All right, Bitcoin has stabilized. 108,200. That is all the news that I had for sharing today. What's coming up tomorrow? We'll be getting some economic data. Durable goods. That's not that important. Wednesday is more important. We're getting FOMC minutes, 2 p.m. Thursday will also be important. We're getting GDP, economic data for United States. And Friday, PCE data, which will also be important in determining whether or not these percentages change for, where is it? Any rate cuts that we could be getting. So far, it's been looking like it's 2 rate cuts for this year. Rate cuts, more rate cuts equals good, but that percentage has kind of been decreasing, right? 1 rate cut we will be getting in the meeting of September, and then another one in December. So that's 2 rate cuts this year. And that'll be all for now. All right, great. That'll conclude the stream for now. Thanks, guys, for sticking around. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. Make sure you like and subscribe. I will not be on tomorrow. I'll be busy. And then I'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be talking about what GDP data we got and how that impacts the market. All right, great. For now, either we range or go upwards. I don't see us going down for Bitcoin this week. Tomorrow's 27th, right? Bitcoin conference. That's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, May 27th. So Bitcoin conference starting tomorrow. That'll be cool. I'll try to give any updates if I can find anything. I don't know when like people like JD Vance will be speaking or Cynthia Loomis, right? Trump's kids will be there. Yes, sir. All right, thank you. Thank you guys. Hope you have a great